Right.
Today we're doing a mock test with Vaniya. Vaniya, tell them how many lessons you've had with me.
17 or 18 hours.
She's had about 17, 18 hours, and tell them how long it's took you to do this.
About 2 years.
Because of
COVID.
But she's had some practice with her dad, and she does have a mini. This is her very first mock test, and we're looking for a pass here, because she's looking for a cancellation before she goes back to uni, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Have you any questions before we start?
No, good.
Okay, I'm just going to write all the faults down on the back of your progress sheet. That's if there's any, of course. Would you like me to tell you a little bit about the driving test, or do you want me to just get on with it?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay then, one question before we start. Could you tell me how you check your powered steering wheel before starting the journey?
When I start the journey, I would just expect it to be light and responsive.
When you start your car?
Yeah, when I start my car.
Okay, if you just make your way out the test center and turn left.
Go side.
So we're turning left. At the end of the road, turn right. You pull up on the right hand side of the road. Just hold Delta, look.
Yeah.
And can you reverse it back to car lens, keep them reasonably close to the car? Thank you. You drive when you feel ready. Vanya gets off to a good start. She's good all-round observation, looking through the back window. Where you should be looking, learners, when you reverse, and you lot like to look forward all the time. No faults recorded. However, when Vanya moves off from the side of the road, she leaves the signal on for right. Now, there's an oncoming car, but it is a far back. So this is our first minor fault. Vanya, the faults is coming thick and fast here. We've got minor faults number 2, 3 and 4. When you pull up at the side of the road, you pull opposite the junction on the right hand side of the road. Remember, you've got to pull up 10 metres past them. Had it been a busy major road, then you could be looking at a serious fault. Minor fault number 3, when you move off from the side of the road, you don't look over your right shoulder. You look over your left shoulder. I don't know what you look over your left shoulder for. I never taught you to do that. So you start from your left mirror, middle mirror, road ahead, right domino, finish with your blind spot check over your right shoulder. Minor fault number 4, when you move off from the side of the road, you move off with the signal on for left. So how do you work that one out? Before you pull off from the right hand side of the road with a signal on for right, moving from right to left, then you pull off from the left hand side of the road with a signal on for left. So every time that driving examiner stops you, apply the parking brake, select neutral and cancel that signal. Thank you. Drive on when you feel ready. At the end of the road, turn right. Really close to the next parked car, but leave enough room to move off. Thank you. I'll do that. And then you just drive on when you feel ready. Fifth minor fault for Vaniya. What happens is she pulls up at the side of the road, she checks around, looks over her shoulder, but then it's a good while later before we actually move off, so she should have looked over her right shoulder again. Vaniya, when you park at the side of the road and you've got lots of cars overtaking, don't put the signal on to move off from the side of the road when you cannot go anywhere. Didn't mark it because it didn't affect other road users, but I've seen nervous drivers jump on the brake because they think you're going to move off. I know you're not, but if it's a guideline, if that signal's going to come fuzzle somebody, don't put it on. Only put it on when you know you can go and if it's going to help or warn somebody. Could you show me how you clean the front window with the washers and wipers? Sixth minor error for Vaniya. Vaniya, you're following this courser too close. It doesn't look too bad on the video, but we're doing about 23, 24 miles an hour and you should be at least 3 car lengths back from that silver car. You're only about 1.5 car lengths back from it. So if that car brakes really heavy for one reason or another, you're going to have to do the same. So following distance a bit too close. On the left. I've asked Vaniya to pull up on the side of the road, but she doesn't pull up. She's done nothing wrong. I only wanted to pull her up so I could start the independent drive, but I've now carried out the independent drive on the move. So Vaniya hasn't done anything wrong, so I cannot mark anything. Okay, we're going to start the independent drive. I'd like you to follow the signs for Durham City Centre. I will change them, but I will tell you in plenty of time. It's going to last about 20 minutes. Signs for Sunderland, and after this roundabout follow the signs for Concert. Minor fault number 7 for Vaniya. Vaniya too close this cash car. You need to keep at least a half a car length back, or what instructors love to say, tyres on tarmac. But you need and leave enough room in case to break down so you can manoeuvre around the car. It does happen, very rarely, but it does happen. I like this from Vaniya. 99% of all people would have drove straight through this red light. Vaniya clocks this early and she stops smoothly. I've had quite a few pupils fail here over the years. Signal was a bit late, but I'm not going to mark it because it was light controlled and we were stationary. But this is good observation skills, Vaniya, so well done with this. Vanya, you could have recorded a serious fault here, but you realise, which is good. Now, if you look at the signpost, constant is the second road to the left. Now, you do not put a signal on for left when it is the second road to the left. If you put a signal on and there's a car in the junction to your left pulls out in front because they think you turn left, you're going to get a serious fault. So when it's the second left, no indicator until you pass the first exit. Then, if you've got enough time, put the signal on to leave the roundabout. You realise you put the signal on left and then you realise and take it off, which is good. Minor fault number 8 for Vanya. Vanya, you should be signalling to leave this roundabout. Now, I know there's not that much time, but if you look at that van at 12 o'clock in front of you, he's waiting to see where you're going. Now, if you put that signal on for left, it will help him drive onto the roundabout. You don't signal, so I've given you a minor fault. Now, had the van not been there, then I probably wouldn't have marked this as a minor fault. But because that van's watching you, wondering where you're going, you should signal to tell him that you're leaving the roundabout. This is really impressive driving skills from Vanya. Vanya's asked to turn right. Now what she does is she looks in the right door mirror and sees a car coming up quite quickly. It's getting bigger in the door mirror. So she doesn't stare in the door mirror like most learners would and drift across into the right lane. She just looks back at the road ahead. Then she lets the car get past and puts a signal on and moves over to the right lane. So this is good work, Vanya. Well done. First serious fault for Vanya. Vanya, when you moved into the right lane, you cancelled the signal. You should have just left that on for right. You were turning right, third exit. It's quite busy on the roundabout. You need to tell traffic where you're going. I could see why you probably missed it because it was a bit busy, but you didn't reapply the signal right to turn right at the roundabout. So first serious fault for not indicating right at the roundabout. If it'd been very quiet, hardly any traffic, you might have gotten a minor fault. Ninth minor fault for Vanya. Vanya, what happens here? You lose your lane discipline a little bit on this roundabout. It starts drifting over the centre line. That's down to your eyes. You weren't following the curb round with your eyes. Maybe you could have been counting the exits and just staring at the exits instead of just glancing. But ninth minor for lane discipline. Turn right, it's the third exit.
Third exit.
Yeah. It's the third exit. Vanya, a better technique for you to approach the roundabout is get into second gear a couple of bus lengths back from the roundabout and bring the clutch up so it helps control the speed of the car. You're driving up the roundabouts a little bit on the fast side and then putting it into second gear about a car length back with the clutch down. It's not good driving practice. You should be getting into second gear, a couple of bus lengths back, bringing the clutch up so it gives you more time to read the road. Second serious fault for Vaniya. Vaniya reaches speeds of 37 miles per hour down this road. It's only a 30 road. Had she got the speed back down straight away, I probably would have just given her a minor fault, but she speeds for quite a while. At the roundabout, follow the road ahead. It's the second exit. Serious fault number 3 for Vaniya. Vaniya, do you see this taxi on your right hand side? Well, right behind that taxi is another white car, and behind that white car is a van. You can't drive onto the roundabout when they're in the right lane coming from your right like this. I say this umpteen times with learner drivers. Why do you do it? You've got to give way to your immediate right. Tenth minor error for Vaniya. She leaves it very late to move over. You can see the signs up ahead saying, look, the left lane's blocked. You need to move into the right lane. When you read these signs, you should be looking to move in the right lane ASAP. Turn right, it's the third exit. Serious fault number 4 for Vaniya. Vaniya, you shouldn't have stopped at the green light here. You can see the white van in the middle. This is all light control, so you expect it to follow the white van into the middle. I could understand keeping that junction to your right clear if it wasn't a light control roundabout, but with it being a light control roundabout, you can go in the middle and block this traffic to your right on this particular roundabout. What happens is you slow right down. Then, as you see the van moving off, you decide to go through the lights. You're about 1.5 car lengths past this solid white line, and the backup light changed amber. What does the highway code say? If you've already crossed the white line, you're allowed to go through. So you should have just kept on going to the next set of lights. Series fault number 5 for Vaniya. Vaniya, what happens here is you look at the green light, which is a pedestrian crossing light, which that will only change to red if somebody presses the button. You've missed this light to your right and the backup light in the middle. So you've tried to go through. I've had to duel you to stop you from going through. On the driving test, this will be recorded as a serious fault and the examiner took physical action. I'd rather you do this for me. I've had pupils fail for this on the driving test and sitting in the back of the car and watching the examiner duel them. So learn from these mistakes. I'm happy that you do them with me.
Yes.
Let me just take control. Take your clutch down. 11th minor fault for Vaniya. Vaniya, leave it far too late and move over to the left lane. People think you're going back round the roundabout. So you should have been just checking your dormer now. Signal when you level that second exit and just drift it over. You just left it very late to exit the roundabout. Yep, full exit. The roundabout, follow the road ahead for Crook. It's the second exit. Series fault number 6 for Vaniya. Vaniya, you get far too close to this silver car in front. Remember, you've got to keep that 2-second gap. What I do for quickness is, you see the silver car in front of you, I just line that up with a centre line. As soon as the back of the car gets level with the centre line, I count to 2 seconds. I say that rhyme, only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. It takes 2 seconds to say that. And if I've reached that marker point before I've said that, then that means I'm too close. So you've got to back off straight away. It just gives you more time to react if anything happens in front. 12th minor fault for Vaniya. Vaniya has to pull up on the left. You put the signal on far too early, and there's a junction on further up the road. You could have just pulled up here just before that blue car when you put the signal on, or you could have just drove past the blue car and pulled up on the left. There's a lovely gap there, but you continued all the way down the road for quite a bit with the signal on for left. There was a junction to the left further up. Had there been a car there, they might think you turn in, they could pull out in front of you. So you need practice of pulling up on the left-hand side of the road. Thank you. And drive on when you feel ready. Thirteenth minor fault for Vaniya. Vaniya too close to junction to your left and on your right hand side. I would have just drove further down the road just before that wagon and just pulled up there, about 2.5 car lengths past the junction. Can you just drive on when you feel ready? Seventh serious fault for Vaniya. Vaniya, this is the third time you've done this. You keep driving on, moving off with a signal on for left. So this has become an habitual fault, so it's now become a serious fault. And take the second road to the left, that one's your first one. Down the bottom and take the next road to the right, and then I'd like you to drive it forward into a bay of your choice. You. That's nicely done. I'll leave it off, sorry.
Yeah.
How do you think you've done?
I made some silly mistakes.
What year, window down?
Such a shame. Don't know what happened really.
How many serious faults do you think you've got?
One.
One?
1 second, let me think. 1 and maybe 2.
Add 5 to that.
5?
Yeah.
Really?
7.
Damn, no, you're kidding me.
No.
Really? I can't, that's not good, that. Oh dear me.
Right, do you want us to tell you what
That's
they were?
sad.
The
Yeah,
first
tell
one,
me.
okay, the first one, you turned right at the roundabout. It was the 4th exit for Framlegate Moor, can you remember?
Yeah.
You didn't have a signal on for right. You'll see it on the video.
Yeah, of course I'll see it,
This
yeah.
will be good learning points for you.
Definitely.
So that was your first one. So you didn't indicate right. Dead easy to put right. Just put a signal when you turn right.
Yeah, I'm very surprised.
Second one, you were doing 37 miles.
Yeah, I knew I went speed somewhere.
Did you?
Yeah.
Going down the
Actually.
bank. The minis are quite heavy, so you've got to get your foot on the brake as soon as it gets to 30. But if there was speed cameras there, that would flash the cameras off that, because that's the 37 and 30. But
Funny.
you've done it for a period of time.
Oh.
Observation. Third one is observation. there's cars coming round in the right lane, you pulled onto the roundabout. You can't do that. They could have just gone straight ahead. We don't
Yeah.
know, so we don't go. Traffic lights. You've crossed the white line. The light changed amber. You're 1.5 car lengths past the white line. The backup light goes to amber. What should you do?
You see, I thought maybe I wasn't too far. I could stop because then I looked in front of me and I seen that it was okay, but obviously not.
No, once you
Have to just go.
once you
Yeah.
crossed the white line, what have you got to do?
You just gotta go when it was
You've got
amber.
to keep going. Yeah. Now you know when the light was on green.
Yeah.
The light was on green. That one just failed, listen. The light was on green, and you're going to stop at the green light. When it's light control, you're expected to drive it into the middle. You got that? So you should have drove when the light was on green. You should have drove it in the middle, but I'll explain on video. Now, what gap do you keep when you're following traffic?
More than what I did. It was quite close.
Yeah, why were you driving so close for? You've got to
No
keep the
idea.
2-second gap, haven't you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, it was closer than what I usually do. Yeah.
What made you do that?
I don't know. Maybe this is real. A mock test makes you nervous. I don't know. I can't tell you what happened, to be honest.
Right, and the last one was near the end there. When you pull off at the side of when you pull up at the side of the road, what do you expect to do?
You have to indicate and then leave, and I didn't do that the last time.
Put your handbrake on, put it in neutral, and cancel signal. You keep moving. You pulled off from the right-hand side of the road with the indicator on for left. Pulled off from the left. The video stopped recording, and I didn't mention going through the red light after the video went off. So apologies for that.